All right, we are on air. Happy New Year's Eve. It is December 31st, 2015. We are very excited that we've had an amazingly good year. We're going to do a quick design meeting for Backdrop CMS. Backdrop 1.3 is coming out in 16 days, and it is a user experience related release, which means we have a bunch of little things we're trying to clean up, as well as a couple of big things we might not get cleaned up. We'd like to. We've got a list of follow-up issues for the layout system that we put in the earlier this year. We have some follow-ups for the CK editor system, the rich text editor we put in core. We have some follow-ups for views module, making it responsive, and we would have really liked to redesign the field UI, but that is a huge honking problem. I think it's probably going to require several iterations, maybe even an alternate contrib solution, and in 16 days it's not likely we're going to get much of that code written. But we'd like to see it anyway, so if we don't get into 1.3, we'll get it out when we can. We do have a tag on the GitHub issue queue for all of the issues that are currently scheduled for 1.3. It might be good to do a review of the stuff that's currently scheduled for that milestone and start removing things that are unrealistic so that people who are working on stuff for 1.3 will know where to focus. So maybe we can spend some time on that today and get that issue cleaned up a little bit. And then specifically related to design and layout, we would love to get a new front-end theme added into Backdrop so that people who are installing Backdrop can run it without having to add a custom theme. So if we could get a base theme in there or a kind of a blank slate, workable, production-ready theme, people could launch their site with it, and that would make a significant difference. And we currently have that scheduled for Backdrop 1.4. which will come out on May 15th. So I'm not sure we actually have a plan as to what that theme would be, whether we're going to put in a Bootstrap-based theme or something else, but that is on our list, so hopefully we'll figure that out and get it done. Let's see. We have a tag in GitHub for all of our issues that are related to design, if anyone wants to take a look at those. And yeah, we always need people to draw pretty pictures in addition to people to make code for us. So if you're interested in helping out and don't have any coding skills but know how to use Photoshop, you're still very valuable. We would love your feedback. Go ahead and check that issue queue for those issues and weigh in where you feel comfortable. All right, most of the design work we've been doing lately has been related to backdropcms.org, our flagship website. Most recently, we've been working on getting our profile pages done, and I think they're pretty close. We have the front-end version of them mostly working. Wes, I'm not sure if you've had any chance to work on the edit form.
I think I hashed out some ideas, but I don't think I got anywhere. And actually, I would like if I could show what I have.
Okay.
I don't know if I got any feedback on the updates to. Oh God, sorry, I wasn't ready for this question. We're talking about field UI, right?
No, for just editing your profile page.
Oh God, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong page. All right, no, I wasn't able to get in the database.
Okay.
So yeah, if we can work that out, I can get started on that.
Okay, I can probably make a new dump. There might have been something wrong with the one I sent you last time.
The problem was, like, I tried to get it to email me a password reset, but the email couldn't send because of server config.
So you know what I could do is import it locally and change the password to something like admin, and then just send it back.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. There's also, I don't know if we have this in Backdrop, but there used to be like a password reset script. Is that still in there? Nate, do you know? No.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay. All right. Yeah, then that's tricksy. Okay, I'll change the password and send that back over to you. We are planning on letting people log in starting tomorrow and create their user accounts. So probably that doesn't need to be done necessarily by tomorrow, but we should come up with a plan. What I was thinking of doing is maybe turning on the admin theme and just letting people edit their user profiles in the admin theme, because that's still fairly pretty. I mean, it's a little jarring when you get bumped out of, you lose your navigation and stuff. But I think it's probably fine just for a couple of weeks until we get the edit form cleaned up enough that we can put it back in. So.
I'm free for, well, actually, no, I'm not free for the rest of the day. Free till 8. I might be able to get a fair amount done tonight, but maybe not.
Well, let me get that to you then right after this phone call before the next one and see how far we can get. And then, if it's close enough, that's, we can always fix it later. So, okay, that sounds great. Alrighty, let's see. Wrong agenda. Ta-da. Okay, so profile page is what is coming up next. I think we should have no problem letting people log in on January 1st. I was going to plan to write a blog post about it on the 7th. So if we open it up tomorrow and tweet about it and let everybody who's, in the know about it, they can use it first. That'll give us a chance to catch any issues. And then if we can have the edit form ready by the blog post, which is a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, I think that should be fine. So, all right. Other things we want to do, once people have logged in, we want to let them add websites they're working on into our showcase site. Are you guys getting horrible beeping noises? Yeah, sorry. There's a large truck. I think it's a recycling truck outside. Okay, stop for a minute. Okay, so other things we're planning on doing on our website is to have an event listing. So anybody who's doing a Drupal event that might be Backdrop friendly or a nonprofit event or a developer-focused event and they want it to appear on Backdrop's calendar, they can log into our website and add it. We'd also like to add a service provider listing. So if you build modules, themes, provide hosting, do search engine optimization, do training, any of that stuff, and you want to be listed on Backdrop's website, you can add yourself in. And then we also have a couple of follow-up tasks for design-related things that we haven't gotten done previously that we need to add additionally, and hopefully we can get all of that stuff done fairly shortly on the website, because we do have a couple of new things that have come up. One of them is a blog page. So we have been advised by our non-developer community that we need to be a little bit better about updating people who are trying to follow along with what's going on in the Backdrop community. And a great way to do that would be to have a blog or a news or an announcement section on our website where we can post interesting, relevant information about what's going on to people who might not be watching these meetings or following us on Twitter or getting information any other way. And so right now we have a blog content type, and right now the most recent one shows up right in the middle of the homepage, and that's it. We don't have a listing of blogs. We don't have a page for a blog. We don't have any other way for people to get that information once that post is passed. It just kind of disappears into the ether. And so what I thought would work on today is writing a blog post that was an announcement that we are going to write more blog posts. They're just kind of making a commitment to keeping our community up to date with what's going on starting in 2016. And there's a couple of things I want to talk about, like we have this upcoming full-day training at Sandcamp we should promote, and we have a new book that just came out for upgrading from Drupal to Backdrop that also just came out. I want to get those two things onto there right away. And then I have set up a schedule for upcoming blog posts, one every 2 weeks. And all the things that are on that schedule we're going to talk about in the developer meeting later today. But I'd like to be able to build those pages on our website so that people can actually get to a news section or an announcement section and find the content rather than just having that one post on the homepage. So I think one post on the homepage is good, but we need to give people a way to see into the past as well. So what I thought I would do is do the same kind of thing I did last time, where I just kind of like build it and see what it looks like, and hopefully our kind of theme styles the way they are now will carry across and it'll look decent, but we can tweak it then if not. So we can kind of do a little fix up CSS or design review after the fact. And we have some great ideas of the kind of content that we're going to be wanting to put into our blog, like YouTube videos and stuff like that. So we can create a couple of test posts and make sure we have all of the fields on and that they look kind of halfway decent, and then clean them up as necessary. I'd like to kind of prioritize the blog section just because I'm going to start working on that today, and then we can kind of clean up going forward as needed. So there's that. Let's see. Other stuff. Anyone who's interested in t-shirts and hoodies, you can go to backdropcms.org/contribute, make a donation, and we will mail a t-shirt or a hoodie. If you are a contributor, you have earned your t-shirt already. We are taking contributor loosely, so if you've contributed comments or feedback we found valuable, pictures of anything like a dragon, that's valuable as well. So anyone who's a contributor can have a t-shirt for free, and a sweatshirt we'll send out for donation as well. Let's see. Other things we usually talk about in the design meeting, we have a set of slides. If anyone wants to give a talk on Backdrop, you're welcome to download our public slide deck. If anyone is giving a talk on Backdrop and wants to contribute them back, we would love to have them back. They're pretty. They use Reveal.js. We have a couple of issues in the backdropcms.org queue relating to design and marketing now. One of those is to help create some branding assets for us, like background images for Facebook and Twitter and Google+, that maybe are a little more true to our brand. That issue is 121. I haven't looked at that for a while, but I think there might have been some recent activity on it lately. No, not really. So if anyone wants to help us come up with some pretty branding stuff, if we are going to be picking up our marketing in 2016 with doing more tweeting and Facebooking, it would be good to have more of our branding out there. So that's something to think about as well. Also, on the user experience front, I'm running into porting contributed modules that have vertical tabs that are used in ways that I feel maybe shouldn't be used for vertical tabs. But we don't have a human interface guidelines document that explains to us when vertical tabs should and shouldn't be used. So I'm just kind of porting the modules from 777 as they are now, but it would be great if we could figure out when those things should and shouldn't be used and then use them consistently, both through core and then also let contrib follow. We are supposed to be a little bit more focused on usability here in Backdrop land, because once we get the initial rush of people who are moving to Backdrop from Drupal, we're going to have to start competing with systems more like WordPress that have really great usability and really consistent interfaces. And getting that nailed down before then, I think, would be fantastic. So if anyone's really interested in studying and documenting interaction patterns in Drupal and Backdrop, we have a great task for you. We have a GitHub repository at github.com/backdrop. Backdrop-ops, I think. Now I gotta look it up. I think it's just called. I don't see it actually. Maybe it's not here. Anyway, yeah, here it is. Backdrop-HIG for human interface guidelines. So I think right now that's just a GitHub Pages project. Yeah, that we can just kind of clean up and edit as needed, hopefully to help figure out what to do, help people figure out what to do with their interfaces. So that could use some love. All right. Is there anything else we need to talk about this week that we haven't, that's not in our agenda?
I really want to work on
Vertical tab.
layouts in core and what was the other one? Oh, layouts admin UI next release.
Okay.
They just kind of keep bubbling up, and I really want to try and wrap my head around that and like what. So I noticed you said that it'd be nice to push the Radix layouts in core to the next release, which I really liked that because I'd like to think about what the coding standard should be, what kind of layout philosophy we're using, like what the CSS should be like in classes and all that.
So just for people who maybe are watching this later and don't know what the layouts in core issue is, right now in core we have 3 layouts. There's a 1-column layout, one with the sidebar on the left, one with the sidebar on the right, and that's it. And for most websites, that is not sufficient. I mean, if you're doing a simple blog, something very straightforward, that's totally fine. But if you have a more comprehensive website, like most Drupal websites, you end up needing more comprehensive layouts as well. And so far, every backdrop site that I've built has its own set of custom layouts, most of which are derived from Radix layouts anyway. And so there's an issue that says, we need more layouts in core, let's just put the Radix layouts module into core. Radix layouts comes with 33 different layouts, 1-column, 2-column, 3-column. I think there are even some 4-column layouts in there as well, with different organizations of things that are all responsive and collapse nicely on mobile or smaller screen sizes, mobile devices, tablets, whatever. And so the issue was like, look, we already have this solution that's these fantastic layouts, just put it in core. But I think that it would be great if we could kind of evaluate the layout landscape a little bit longer, because layouts are really new. We don't really know what people are doing with them. Just because we have one solution that works doesn't mean that's the best solution or the only way that we can solve this problem. And there is definitely, like, this is something new to anyone in Drupal, where trying to figure out how the separation between your theme and your layout, like where does your CSS go, how does it control stuff. And so we also have, like right now in core, the 3 layouts that are in there are inconsistent. And so it's really hard to target like the same regions in each layout. In Radix, it's a little easier. They are consistently named with classes and stuff. And so I think like it might be better to replace the layouts that are in core with the ones that are in Radix, but then we need to provide an upgrade path that would load something and then move it around and put it back. And we've got to think about the kind of damage that might be done to somebody who's running a website and then we swap the layout from underneath them. What if their theme had overridden the previous layout and it's not targeting the new one? Like, how do we handle this? Do we leave the layouts that are in core there and disable them, make them hidden, but then anyone who'd used them before put them back? Like, there's just a bunch of stuff that I think we need to do carefully if we're going to change layouts. And another thought, too, is our original idea was if we put 3 layouts in core, then if you're a contributed theme, you just have to support those 3 layouts, and ta-da, you're done. And that makes it much easier to produce contributed themes that are going to work on all of core. But if all of core becomes 33 layouts, now you've got to test your theme a lot more carefully against all 33 of these layouts. Now, in theory, if your theme was written well, it would just work. But we don't really know what it means yet to have a theme that's written well. So I think it's too early to be making these kind of rash decisions just because we have something that works really well. It is definitely the case that the longer we wait, the more people are using Backdrop, the higher our risk is for doing something like an upgrade path like this, which I think is definitely valid. But we also aren't really paying close attention to our usage statistics on, like, we aren't tracking how many people are using these core layouts. That would probably be something that we should do before we make some kind of change like this. So we could add something into our update tracking to maybe track that and then try and figure out how safe or not safe it is to make some kind of change like this. But I agree, we need more layouts in core. They need to be consistent. I would love to see them use something like Radix layouts. I use those anyway. But we also need to think about how, like, the CSS for our core themes is going to be affected by making a change like that. And then what does that mean for contrib? If our core themes have to do all of this other work that now needs to be updated, are we doing that to all of our contributed users as well with their custom and or contributed themes they're running? So I know people really want to get it in because they're like, it's a huge usability improvement. You can have all these responsive layouts out of the box. But I'm like, it's also kind of a nightmare. I think we need to think about it more carefully. So I went ahead and pushed that issue from 1.3 to 1.4. I think if we try and figure something out by April, it's not that far. Oh, so it'll be May. It's a little farther away. I think hopefully we'll have a huge surge of users between now and May. But if we can figure out the right way to move them from the current system to the new system, that might be better. And then we could drop, like, if we can figure something out, we can remove the 3 layouts that are there now and Backdrop 2. I don't know. It's just, I think that it needs to be done more carefully and we shouldn't just rush them in.
Agreed. Yeah. Uh, I didn't even think about all those complications. I was just thinking about CSS architecture and like that kind of thing. Like I want to get
Which
that
is
right.
also complicated enough on its own.
Right.
Yeah.
So, cool.
And then the other thing you said you wanted to talk about was the layouts UI.
I was just thinking for front-endy kind of stuff that I want to focus on for the next point release. I wanted to do that, and then it sounds like there are a couple other people that want to kind of focus on layouts stuff. So the ones going in core and the admin. And I think focusing on that stuff together is gonna be helpful. So I don't know. Yep. Just wanted to maybe focus any front ender that might be contributing on a couple of things instead of
All of
being,
them.
yeah.
Fair. Okay. Well, I know you had some questions, or you wanted to wrangle in Darius and see if you could get him to help you with responsive vertical tabs stuff.
Yeah.
He is not here today. It is New Year's Eve. I don't really expect him to be around, but we could send him an email. Do you have his email address?
I emailed them
Before.
something before about the profile page to get the original designs and something that wasn't Sketch because I can't open it. But I haven't heard back, so I don't know if that was the right email or what. So
I think that's the right email because I was on that thread too.
Okay.
But maybe he's just out.
Busy. Yeah.
Yeah, away from computer for a while. Okay, well, he hasn't emailed me back either, so he's probably not around today. But yeah, let's see. I think that's good. I think especially if you have if you have a picture of something that you're working on, that might get his attention too. If you're like, hey, I need help with this thing, and like point
Right.
at it, maybe he'd be like, oh, and then you can't resist. It's right there. I don't know. Maybe not.
Certainly try.
All right, Nate, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. My focus has been on the next release and not on too much on the design stuff. I would like to take a hand at implementing the field UI stuff that Wes has already mocked up, but we'll see if we have time for that.
Okay. I think you would be a perfect person for that. All right. Wes, I'm going to drop off this call and start working on getting you a database with a password you can type. So.
Sure. Did you both see the newer field UI I did that had the feedback where we were talking about webform.com and stuff like that and making it look more like that?
I think so.
I can share it real quick.
Yeah, the part that I knew that we could get implemented is just the addition of fields, the kind of new wizard-like thing that you came up with. And actually,
right. That's the thing that I updated.
Oh, okay. Maybe there's something new there that I haven't seen.
Let me find that. I think my screen share is not working, so I'll just the very bottom of this thread. Wow, my computer is not wanting to keep up. I think Chrome's angry.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen this at all. Oh.
So I referenced Wufoo and webform.com and some other things about how other people have broken down what type of fields there are in a more user-friendly way, and less this is how a database works or whatever, and kind of came up with these ideas. I don't know if it's perfect, but like for image field, I'm wondering why I'm showing the file upload field and why I don't just show like a picture of mountains, like that classic this is a picture thing.
I mean, so the problem here is that you're still talking about building content, right? Like we're talking about setting up a type of content versus Wufoo and Webform. Right. They're all talking about building input forms. And so the mental model is backwards. Like people aren't, when they're like, how do I add an image? They're not going to be thinking about an image upload dialog. They're going to be thinking about an image.
Right.
And so we can't show them the form elements first thing. Like you need to be like, add an image, and then that you let them choose an image. And then later on, when you're like, okay, now how do you want to add the image to your website? Then you show them a form element.
Right.
So there's just like those things are really different.
But then when I think about how text is added, it seems more like form, like do you want multiple choice? Do you want a paragraph text? Do you want, like, those things seem more, they map better to form things, but then, you know what I mean? So, but
Yeah,
then
and
there's
it's
like
also
image and files that are
like we also have, I don't know, there's so many problems with field UI. But yeah, the fact that we ask people for how they want their form configured before they've decided whether they want a paragraph of text or a string of text is weird, right? Because
right.
you aren't going to say, I want my paragraph of text in a bolded list or a select box. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have any answers to this, but I definitely think we shouldn't be showing people an image upload widget
Yeah,
anymore.
that was definitely not good. But then, like, yeah. The other thing is, like, there's what you collect, and you have your reasons for collecting certain data and content type, and then there's how you use it. So, like, a date could be something that's never user facing, in theory,
Yeah.
and then so it's like, what am I? Yeah, it's the person's. Is the person like the site builder that, the content editor is their customer, or is, like, who am I? I can't really wrap my head around who all the audience would be, and what their how they think, right? Like, I know how I think, but that's not necessarily helpful here. So I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
I think like the I don't know that there's a right answer to this problem. Like, I mean,
Right.
obviously we have what we have now, and that's where we're starting. And what we have now is like we ask people to build a form.
Right.
But there are some things, you're right, that you can assume that nobody's going to want to see an image upload, but they're going to want to see an image. Same thing with a video. Like, a video is just a text field, but we can't show them a text field because
Right.
that's the same as a text field. And how are they going to know the difference between dragging in a string of text versus dragging in a video URL, right?
Right.
Same thing with links. Like, I don't know how you're going to figure that out either.
True.
Yeah, but I think that the easiest path forward is just trying to figure out some way to build the form first, like you're doing. But the real problem is, like, when you tell people to build a new post type or whatever we're going to call it, they're not going to be thinking about the form first. They're going to be thinking about what do they want to see, because most people are given a picture of what their end result is, or they have a picture in their mind of what their end result is, and they don't think about how you enter the data. And so trying to give them some kind of a, like, wizardy thing that's like, what do you want to see? And then they say, well, these are the four things,
Right.
is going to happen first. And the kinds of people who are like, oh, I need to add a, publish on date, and that's hidden, that's a kind of a different kind of audience, where they're now understanding that they're collecting data and not building a page. And it's a different user story for those people.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yep. I wonder if there's, like, this might be overthinking it, but if there's, like, a visual ad versus a person who's thinking about content integrity, which is more along the lines of what I'm mocking up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like adding fields by dropping things on a mock page, right? Versus
Well,
so kind of like the layouts UI.
there could be two entry points too, right? We've got like a
Right.
managed fields and a managed display, right? What if you could add fields to either one?
Right.
It's
Right.
just crazy.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily do this, but like the kind of person who's like, I want to control what my page looks like, they go to manage display and they drag in a paragraph of text, and the person who goes
Right.
to fields is going to drag in a, like, text area field, right?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
could be the same exact thing, just
Yeah.
like the visual person versus data person. And we
Right.
could have something so that if you did it on the managed fields page, it's like hidden by default, and if you did it on the managed display field, it's shown by default. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna take a look at this issue. I hadn't seen this new version.
Yeah. Let me know what.
I like it more in some ways, and it's also worrisome to me in others.
Part of me is worried. I don't want to enable people to make bad decisions about how to structure content. Like I want to make sure that they don't split out content in weird ways or put it in a field where it's like that's not really going to work. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm also like I like the Denny's menu analogy here that you've got, um, but I'm worried if we put the onus of creating these preview images on developers that they won't be able to make ones that look
Mm-hmm.
consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that or they'll all just use the same image. That's like a X with a line through it or something.
Yeah, a little question mark box or something like that. Like the I don't know what this is box.
Well, unfortunately, that's like what a good user face is, or user face. What a
User
good user
interface.
interface is like having consistent like iconography, right, and visual cues. And so, if we're gonna build a good interface, it's gonna need visual cues, and it is gonna be up to developers to do
This
to
could be
make
a
them.
thing where we just make sure that me or somebody is available to help them out with that aspect. If they're like, oh, I want to contribute a module, but I need, I don't know if there's a way to approach that from a community angle.
Yeah, yeah, it may also be possible. I mean, like
I
some of
mean,
these things.
we could
Yeah,
open source the tools for that, right? Where it's like, here's a field widget template, and it's available in Sketch and Photoshop and Illustrator or whatever, and it contains all of the color palette and whatever else you need. And then that way we would be sort of enabling more of the designer types to take it on and do it themselves, even if the developers don't want
Sure.
to. And then
yeah,
we could just have like in contrib people say, okay, here's the module and it has a placeholder thingy in it, and then you can create an issue that's like needs icons, and then anyone could grab those files and make them. I don't know. We can make
Yep.
it easier. I'm not sure we could actually make it happen.
Oh, and
yeah.
it's like if somebody creates a field type module, and if I find it, I could be like, oh, I'm going to create an issue and give them a better preview image.
I can't wait to see the bike sheds over what a better preview image is. I want a red border. You need a blue border.
Man. Oh well. Well, I'll take another look at this.
Sure.
And yeah, I've got some feedback.
Love to hear it. Cool.
All right, well, I'm going to work on getting you a database dump, and then if anything else comes up, I'm going to take a look at that issue too. It looks exciting. Yeah, we'll work it out on GitHub or IRC or Gitter or issue queue. I don't know.
Cool. Talk to
All
you
right,
soon.
well, thanks for coming. Happy New Year, everyone. Almost.
All right, bye guys. We've got another meeting in 25 minutes, so I'll see. Probably, I'll see you then, Jen. All right.